Okay, so here if I give you these zeros, they've already been solved for. They've already been zeroed out. So if I, yeah, Perlina. Exactly. If you're going backwards, in order to get -3 as the 0, -3 plus 3 is 0. So the sign flips. Because if x were -3, -3 plus 3 equals 0. This next one, if the 0 were 1, it would have to be x minus 1, because 1 minus 1 is 0. You see how the signs flip? And then the last one would be what? X minus 4, because if x were 4, 4 take away 4 is 0. So that's actually your answer to the function in factored form. F of x equals x plus 3, x minus 1, x take away 4. Okay, now comes the fun part. Now we got to write it in standard form, which is like when it's all multiplied out, like this. So we have to multiply it out. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Essentially what we have to do is you have to multiply 2 of these binomials together. You'll get a trinomial. Then multiply that trinomial times the remaining binomial. Okay, it's a lot of work, but we can do it. And I will show you 2 ways to do it today. I'll show you the box method and the arrow method. Exactly, because it's going to be an x to the third, right? Because eventually it'll be an x times x times x. It does not matter which 2 you start with. You can do these 2, you can do these 2. I, personal preference, like to start with the second 2, but it really doesn't matter. You'll get the same thing. Just like if you had 2 times 3 times 4, 2 times 3 is 6, times 4 is 24, is the same thing as 2 times 3 times 4, 2 times 12. Yeah, what's up?
So you multiply them, the 2 of them, and then you multiply them again
by the third, exactly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ignore this for a second. It's going to just hang out.
Why do you ignore that first?
You could also multiply these 2 and ignore the last one. It doesn't matter. I just like multiplying these 2 first. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this. Right? X times x we know is x squared. X times -4 is -4x. -1x, and -1 times 4 is positive 4. Okay, now before I multiply, I'm going to combine those terms. So I'll have still the x plus 3 at the front, just chilling. And then I have x squared, take away 5x, plus 4. Here's why I left that one in front. Here's my example of why, or proving you why. You know when you distribute, where you're used to seeing, like if I were to multiply 2 times x plus 4, you're used to seeing the smaller one in front. This you're used to seeing. You're not as used to seeing this. Right? It's the same thing. That's why I left this one in front. I like multiplying the 2 by the 3 instead of the 3 by the 2, but it really doesn't matter which order you have it. So here, I'm going to do the same thing. Distribute this 3 times now. So x times x squared is x to the third. X times -5x is -5x squared. X times 4 is 4x. And then I have to do the 3. So I have 3 times x squared is plus 3x squared. 3 times -5 is minus 15x. And 3 times 4 is plus 12. What do you guys think I do next? Yeah! I got some x squareds here. And then I have some x's. And then I only have 1 cube, so x to the third. And then -5x squared plus 3x squared is -2x squared. And then 4 take away 15 is minus 11x. It is time consuming. And then plus 12. Yeah, exactly. Why do you think I'm doing this on block day? And that's standard form. f of x equals x to the third minus 2x squared minus 11x plus 12. Now, I'm a visual learner personally, so the arrows are okay for me if I draw them, but I also really like the box method, so I just want to show you that as an option, because later on in the lesson, you'll have to maybe multiply a trinomial times a trinomial, and then you have like hella arrows. So just as an option, at this stage, when you had the binomial, x plus 3, times the trinomial, x squared take away 5x plus 4. Instead of doing the arrows, as an option, you could draw a box. It's 2, because that binomial has 2 terms, x plus 3, by 3, because the trinomial has 3 terms. X squared take away 5x plus 4. And it's kind of like a Punnett square. Like those polynomials are making babies, and we got to see what their phenotypes are going to be. Haha, biology jokes. Okay. X times x squared is x to the third. X times negative 5x is negative 5x squared. X times 4 is 4x. 3 times x squared is 3x squared. 3 times negative 5x is negative 15x. And then 3 times 4 is 12. And from here, it's the exact same steps. So literally all I do is I take all this stuff in the box and I write it out on a line. And the order doesn't matter because I'm going to ultimately combine like terms and put it into standard form anyway. So I just make sure I don't miss any. And then from here, it's literally the same thing. Combine like terms, and you get the same answer. I'm going to show you another, just set you up on the next example to show you what happens when there's a root of 0, and then y'all can do the rest. It's just time consuming, that's all. And you got to go slow, because we run the risk of making errors. All right, let's start the next one. All right, if the zeros, if 0 is a 0, I can just write x. But if you forget that, you can just write x, you can do the same thing we were doing before and say x minus 0. You don't, like this will get you the same place. That would be that one. X plus or minus 2. Minus 2. Plus or minus negative 5. Yeah, plus 5. Cool. And now, before I start multiplying, what is x take away 0? Here, x take away 0 is the same thing as x, right? So I'm just going to go like that. And then do this stuff. X minus 2, x plus 5. That's the factored form. So y equals x, x minus 2, x plus 5. Or you can write x minus 0. It's the same thing. And now you're going to do the same multiplying. Again, it doesn't matter. You can do this. You can distribute the x first, and then multiply that times the last binomial. Again, personal preference doesn't matter at all. I think it's easier to handle the x last. So multiply these first, because we're really used to multiplying binomials. So leave the x alone, ignore it. Sorry, x, we'll come back to you. And then here I would have x times x, you guys know is x squared. X times 5 is 5x. Negative 2 times x here, and then negative 10. I'm going to move over, I'm just running out of room. What do I do next? I can distribute the x. What can I do before that?
Add like
Combine like terms. Again, the order doesn't matter, but I try and do less work when I can. And now what Perlina said. And this is why I leave the x for last, because now all I have to do is go wee, 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 and just make every x 1 degree higher. X times x squared is x to the third. X times 3x is 3x squared, and then minus 10x, and that's my answer. Woohoo!
sounds like it. Like they're trying to sell you something.
F of function of x.
Come get this piece on 500. Yeah, that's all that.
And the fraction is the same as sliding and dividing. You just slide the denominator over.
This guy can
I like it like this. This is like a private school. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You guys could pay $40,000 a year and get this type of service. One of the great inequities. Yeah. Cool. Can I just show you how to set up the next one and then you guys are free? Fractions, everybody's favorite. So, f of x equals parentheses, parentheses, parentheses. Because there's 3 zeros. X plus or minus 2/3. Yeah, plus 2/3. X take away 1 and x minus 0. Y'all remember slide and divide?
Yeah.
Everybody's favorite. I'm just going to slide the 3. So this is going to be 3x plus 2. X minus 1 stays. And then again, personal preference. Instead of leaving the x at the end, I like to write it at the beginning. But it's all the same. All the answers on this packet are correct. So you guys can check your work and know that the answers will be good. Have so much fun.